Welcome back to Honey Badger 3D Print and Paint. Today, Warhammer Day. But before we do that, roll those credits. Right, welcome back. Now, you'll have seen in a video we done a little while ago where we was testing out and doing some stuff on the Frozen Mighty 8K. I started printing myself a Warhammer army. I wanted to learn how to paint Warhammer. Some of our projects we do are big and they take quite a long time. In between doing them projects, usually left with nothing to do. So I thought to myself, I'm going to teach myself to paint Warhammer. In between them projects, it's something I can sit down and paint and do. I find painting relaxing, so I do it after I've been at work, stuff like that. So I wanted something I could do whenever I wanted to. So I thought, I'm going to print myself a Warhammer army. The army I chose was the Death Guard. Reason being, they are pretty gross, but interesting. So, not everything on here now has been 3D printed. Reason being, for some of the characters I wanted to do, there either doesn't exist a file, or the ones that do, not very good. So, for a couple of things, I did buy from Games Workshop. More importantly, what I mean to say is, I bought from Ground Affected, who's another YouTube channel most of you probably know. I went down to his shop, he ordered me in some of the stuff I wanted, bought it off him. I'd rather give my money to him than to Games Workshop. So, let's have a look at what we've got. All of the tanks I've got here, they were all 3D printed. Some of them came as standard file. It's like Plague Burst Crawler. Looks just like a Plague Burst Crawler. It's exactly the same. That's that. A lot of the other tanks I've customized. So some parts of the files, it was the tank I wanted, but it wasn't in the style of Death Guard. So like with this tank here, I printed out some Death Guard emblems and stuff like that, added that to it and printed out tentacles, and with a bit of filler made tumours and stuff like that. So that's that. This tank actually came as a Death Guard Plague Marine tank, so that was pretty cool. We've got the big tank here, which was made up of a few different files. And we've got this tank here, which I think is a Lemon Rust tank, where I just kept adding more guns. Because I thought, more guns, the better. And the bigger the guns, the better. So I just added loads of guns. Worked for me. You'll see also on the previous video I did, printed out this on the Mini 8KS. I haven't got around to painting that yet, but it's actually next on my list. That's what I'm going to start. Character-wise, I've got through quite a few. Feels like I've done much more than I have. When I look at it like this, it doesn't seem like I've done many at all. When I see the ones I've got still to do, but I'm not a fast painter by any means. Whatever it is I'm painting, I'm not quick. I tend to take my time and get it as good as I can get it. So when I'm painting characters, I tend to do them in batches of either 5 or 10. So it'll be skin tone. So if like these Pox Walkers, I'll start off with doing, I don't know, maybe the skin tone on all of them. Then I'll go around and I'll do the clothes on all of them. So although it takes quite a while, by the time you finish, you've batched out 10 in one go. Same with these Plague Marines at the front here that are in like bone armour. We'll do some close-ups of these up in a minute so you can see them better, because obviously, granted, from here you can't see them that well. Mortarian, I actually bought off of eBay. I got a third of the price of what it would cost if you bought it in a Games Workshop. I really enjoyed painting this. This is painted almost all in contrast paints. So contrast paints, I actually really like them because what it does is it gives you paint coverage and your lowlights and a lot of your highlights in one coat of paint. You do then go over and you highlight over the top of it as well, but it sort of does everything in one go. It's amazing stuff. I actually really like it. And then again, we've got the Great Unclean one here. We've got some, I think they're Plague Walkers, I think. I don't really know. We've got some Terminators and maybe I think Blightlord Terminators. Not entirely sure. Don't really know. But you also see on this side, there's still some to go. So I haven't printed anything for a good few weeks. I've been trying to paint it. I did print this recently, but that was for the acidity resin video to test out their resin. So that's why that tank isn't painted. But I'm probably going to start painting that and this as the next things I'm going to do. But over here, you'll see I've got some more Plague Walkers. There's 5 here, and I've painted 5 here, so that 5 needs to be done. I've got a load of Plague Marines here. I've got some of these. These are called, I don't know, I can't remember. There's 2 of them there. They're a thing. I can't remember what they're called. I've got some bigger characters here as well, and I might actually have like a small pile of Games Workshop boxes piled up on a shelf that I've yet to even open. There might be a few there. I might have bought more than I intended to, but I did buy the majority of them off of Marketplace and eBay and things like that. Much better price. All of them unopened, so you know, brand new. At a much better price than what they're going to sell them for in Games Workshop. I do go to Games Workshop. I do go there to buy the paint I need. The guy in the local shop near me gives me a good deal because usually when I go there, I'm like, oh, there's a list of 20 paints I need. So I do buy my paint from there. We'll do some close-ups now of where I'm at so far. So to start off with, we've got our Nurglings. These were actually quite fun to paint. I enjoyed doing these. I think they came out really well. I really like these. So we've got them. We have got our these are called the Chosen, I think. And these ones I decided to change and do bone armour, and I really like the way these came out because they're a little bit different than the other ones. They were nice. We have got our Poxwalkers. So these were actually really small to paint because although they're the same size as Space Marines and stuff, because they've got no armour, they're actually a lot smaller and fiddlier. But again, these I enjoyed painting. I think they come out really well. We have got our Terminators. I think these might be Blightlord Terminators. I'm not entirely sure. But these, I like the way these come out. I've got a fair few more to do with these. We've got our Plague Walkers or Plague Bearers. I'm not entirely sure. I can't really remember. But so I've got a few of them done so far. What we got here? We got a Plague Marine Champion. Let's get that into focus. There you go. This one, I think, is actually one of the best ones I've done so far. I was really pleased with this. And then we go on to, let's have a look at Mortalian. So this is something I've just, recently finished. As I said, this is done in all contrast paints. I'm really pleased with how the wings came out. They were really nice. Although this took a long time, I'm going to say probably it took me about 15-20 hours to paint this. I was really pleased with the finish and the way it ended on this. It's probably one of my favourites so far. We've got the Great Unclean one. This is just a brilliant model because they're just so disgusting. Like, everything about him is just vile, really, which is sort of his thing, so that's cool. And then we've got like some of the tanks. I will say I do really enjoy doing the tanks because I tend to kit bash them. You know, you can make them wherever you want. Like this one just added more and more guns and bigger guns until I couldn't fit any more on. But I'm really happy with the tanks and I really enjoy doing them because you can sort of make them one-offs really. And I just enjoy doing the tanks, which is why I've got quite a few tanks and not as many characters done. Right, so as you can see, it's, from what we usually paint, this is way opposite end of the scale. Like, James is currently printing out a Daredevil and Kingpin. It's going to be like a metre tall. It's huge. I'm still in the process of doing the Ecto 1 car from Ghostbusters. That's massive. Like, it's big. It's taking time. So this is in between doing that. This is what I sit down and do. It might take me a week to paint 5 characters, but I don't mind that because I go in now, I paint for an hour or so, and then I go indoors, and then I might come out later on and paint for an hour or so, and that's how I like to do it. I don't like to sit down for 5-6 hours and just paint. I like to breeze in, do a bit of painting, leave, come back later, do a bit more. So, hopefully you like the way I've painted so far. I am happy with results. Let me know what you think. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next video. Thanks a lot. Bye.